Hello JRPG fans! So, last night, or whatever time it was for you guys, Nintendo revealed what the NX is. It is called the Nintendo Switch, and a lot of people apparently don't like that name. I think it's fine. I mean, immediately, all I could think was that Will Smith song. And Switch. Dun, dun. Yeah, that's all I could think, and that's all still I can think. So I think Nintendo of America are definitely missing an opportunity there if they don't make Will Smith make a return to music and sing that at some kind of launch. I think the name's fine. It's I saw there was an idea a long time ago, or at least a while ago. Somebody relatively big in the video game industry said they should call the next console the Nintendo Iwata, and I thought that was a great idea because it's like ambiguous to people who don't, like, to the casual observer. Like, if you just saw Nintendo Iwata, you would think, oh, it's like a new console, but it means something. But that didn't end up happening. It's called the Nintendo Switch. It sort of explains exactly what it does. It's a home console that turns into a portable console. And my initial thoughts? Great. I mean, we already had the rumors and that sort of thing about that's what it was going to be, but from what it looked like in that trailer, I think it looks excellent. The looks of it, I think that it looked fun. Like, it looked well designed, and it looks like it's going to work. There are a couple of things. Obviously, we don't know about the internals, what it's being powered by. Apparently, the dev kits at the moment are NVIDIA Tegra chips, which are obviously like less powerful than the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. However, if they move over to the new generation of NVIDIA Tegra chips, it should be about on par with. And it has been noted that it has active cooling on the inside, whereas all NVIDIA Tegra products don't have active cooling that are on the market at the moment. So it will be powerful enough. It's powerful enough to run the new Skyrim, and it'll be powerful enough to make some really good games, really good, enjoyable games. And what's the biggest advantage is that you're going to be able to take them on the go with you. And my initial reaction is, does this also replace the 3DS? Because they haven't really made that clear. Like, it's definitely a home console. They're pushing that it's a home console. It's the Wii U successor, essentially. But is it going to replace the 3DS? And my initial thoughts are no. I don't think it will. I don't think it'll become both their handheld and their home console line. I think there's going to be another handheld, in all honesty. Because I don't see this having a massive battery life. I don't see this having the battery life of a 3DS. Not with that big HD screen on the controller and the quality of games that it will be running. I do not see this being a replacement for the 3DS as well as the Wii U. They'll probably release a whole new handheld line, in all honesty. But the fact that, yeah, you can play these games. A lot of people, most of the comments I've seen are like, Skyrim on the go, sold. I don't really get that. That's for a whole nother video, I think. The whole Skyrim thing. I just don't like Skyrim at all. It's so empty and boring. And the combat's terrible and the story is non-existent. Everything is the same. I just don't like Skyrim. I'm gonna find out why people like Skyrim in a whole nother video, because I really need to know. But the biggest disappointment for me, and it's not gonna stop me from getting a Nintendo Switch, because I'm definitely gonna get one. But the biggest disappointment, they showed off every way you can use the controller. So you can get standard, normal controller, something like, like just like an Xbox 360 controller, something like that. You can take the two sides off the Switch screen, and you can use them either in each hand, kind of like, Wii U nunchucks, Wii nunchucks, or you can slide them into a little bracket that makes it more like a traditional controller. But you do not have the option of using the NX, the Switch. You don't have the option of using the Switch with the two things on it as a gamepad, as a Wii U gamepad. So you don't have the option of doing dual screen gaming. To use the console, as far as we can tell and as far as we can see, to use the console on a TV, the actual tablet part, the Switch, needs to be docked inside the dock. So you can't use that as a second screen. And I've been meaning to make a video about why people don't like, or at least asking the question of why people don't like the Wii U gamepad. I can't understand it. I love the gamepad more than any controller I've ever used. I think it is far superior to like the Elite controller, to the Pro controller, sorry. And I mean, I think it's the most comfortable controller I've ever used. With somebody with quite large hands, I found the design of the controller to be amazing, that it feels extremely comfortable in my hands, but my 5 and 8-year-old nieces can also pick it up with no problem and use it and play Mario Kart and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's comfortable. And the biggest advantage, that second screen, it is a totally discounted feature. A lot of people say, oh, why should I have to look away from the TV to play the game? But you're not doing that. The second screen is there for convenience. Can you imagine half of the 3DS library being on the 3DS if it only had one screen, if the bottom screen just did not exist? Because I can't. And the reason that I was not hugely, I mean, I've always been a Zelda fan, but I was not a massive fan. I wasn't like rushing out day one and buying merch and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't a huge Zelda fan back in the days of just a controller and a TV. And it's because I absolutely hated all the stupid menu hopping you had to do. So we need to change items, so and then we can go back into it, and then you have to change items again, so then it's and then you're back into it again, and that really annoyed me. And the Wii U came along with the gamepad, Wind Waker Remastered, and you don't have to do any of that. It's there. Your inventory and everything is always on the bottom screen. To change items, all you have to do is tap it with your finger or drag it with your finger. It is much easier, much more convenient. And even if you're looking away from the screen for like a split second, it doesn't affect anything. You're metaphorically looking away from the screen or the action every time you have to open a menu anyway, because that's completely taking away from everything that's happening on the screen. All you're doing is opening a menu and changing some stuff around. I thought that the Wii U, the second screen, was underutilized in a lot of games, or forced onto some games, which is possibly why some people don't like it. But I prefer, the Wii U is my most played console of 2015, and I played every single one of those games with the gamepad, and I refuse to use any other controller. The battery life never really became a problem for me. I know some people complain about that. You can get extended batteries from Nintendo, so that sort of fixed that problem for a lot of people. But for me, I situated myself near the charger, and you can plug it straight into the mains, and then it has infinite battery life, which is, yes, maybe a little inconvenient for some people, but that never became a problem for me. I loved the Wii U gamepad, and the one disappointment I have found with the Nintendo Switch is the fact that you can't use the actual tablet piece like a Wii U gamepad. Everything else I saw, though, was great. I think it's a fantastic move. There's no point in Nintendo jumping into some ridiculous power game. The teraflop wars are what I call the current PS4 Pro and Scorpio thing. Moving to these yearly releases of consoles with slightly more power. There's no point. The Xbox Scorpio, oh, the most powerful console ever made, it doesn't matter, because you can buy right now, right this very second, you can walk into a shop and you can buy an Nvidia GTX 1080, which is just a graphics card, mind you, just one singular graphics card for a computer. That alone has more processing power, more teraflops than the entirety of the Project Scorpio console. So what is the point? It's basically worse PC gaming. for a premium price. And it's just silly. There's no point in Nintendo jumping in on that. There's no point. They need to supplement themselves. The Nintendo consoles is something you have in addition to your main console. If you are into that whole war thing, I just buy everything because I find that easier. It's going to supplement, because you can play PlayStation 4 games, you can play Xbox One games. You can't play them on the go though. So that's where the Nintendo NX comes in. It will have some third-party support, but obviously it's going to be bolstered mainly by its first-party library and its cool feature to go anywhere you go. I think it's a good idea. The move to cartridge-based media is a great idea. A lot of people were criticizing that as well. I don't understand it. You can get micro SD cards, like this big micro SD cards that are 256 gigs. Solid state media now, it has far surpassed disc-based media, and its pricing has come way down from the days that Nintendo had to use them for the 3DS and that sort of thing. I don't think there'll be any troubles with storage on these cartridges. I think there'll be plenty enough. And they should hopefully at least have the storage of a Blu-ray disc, and I don't imagine they'll have any less than that. Anyway, I don't want to ramble on for too long. That was my one disappointment, not being able to use it as a Wii U gamepad, but everything else I thought was excellent. I can't wait. I'm hyped. It's going to be a day one purchase. I'm going to play the hell out of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Speaking of, you can watch my impressions video. I got to play it a while back, so that'll be somewhere on the screen back here. I don't know. That way? That way. That way. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, hit that like button, or hit the dislike button if you didn't. Click on the screen to watch some of my other videos, jump down into the comments section with your kind words, criticisms, questions, or requests, follow me on social media, and subscribe to see more of me and everything I do. If you'd like to support my channel, please use the Amazon links in the video description. Other than that, I will see you all soon.